Okay, in order to add or subtract fractions, we must have common denominators. So in order to make our denominators alike in this one, they are already very similar, but they are exact opposite in signs. So in order to make them alike, we just want to multiply one of the fractions by -1, because remember, if you multiply by -1, that changes the sign of whatever's being multiplied by -1. So we'll start off here, and I'll just multiply the second fraction by -1 over -1. The reason we multiply the top and bottom by the same thing is so we can keep the fraction equivalent to what it started. So this would become -4v plus 9 by distributing the -1. That will become -3 plus v. Now, if you look carefully at your denominators, they are the same now. The v's are positive and the 3's have the negative or the minus with them. So -3 plus v, that really is the same thing as v minus 3. Well, that's great. Now we can write our numerator over this one common denominator. So 5 minus v minus -4v plus 9. Now we're going to simplify our numerator. So we have this minus in front of a set of parentheses. We must treat that as if it's a -1 and distribute. Therefore, we have 5 minus v plus 4v minus 9. Now we want to simplify our numerator by combining like terms. So we have -1v plus 4v. -1 plus 4 is 3v. Positive 5 minus 9. 5 take away 9. We're taking away more than what we started with. So that gives us negative or -4. All over v minus 3, we check to see if we can factor anymore, and we cannot factor anything, so this is fully simplified. Okay, let's take a look at another problem. This one, we have a over a squared plus 7a plus 12 minus 3 over a squared plus 5a plus 6. So again, we need a common denominator. However, neither our denominators are not the same, but they both can be factored. So we will start off by factoring our denominators in this particular problem. So factors of 12 that gives us a sum of 7 would be +4 and +3. Factors of 6 that gives us a sum of 5 would be +3 and +2. Now we see that we have the factors a plus 4, a plus 3 in our first denominator. In the second denominator, we have a plus 3 and a plus 2. Every factor that you see listed must be used at least one time. If we have a factor that's listed more than one time in any one of our given denominators, then we must list it the most amount of times that we see it in any one denominator. For example, if I had a plus 2 listed twice, or let's say a plus 3 listed twice in my second denominator here, then I would use it twice in my common denominator. With the problem we have a plus 4 is only listed once. We have a plus 3 listed once in my first fraction, once in my second fraction, so the most amount of time that is listed in any one fraction is just one time. And then we have a plus 2 that's listed once in the second fraction. So that will be my common denominator. Again, the a plus 3 is only used one time because that's the most amount of times that it's listed in any one fraction. Now, Just like with any other fractions, when we start adding and subtracting, if our denominator changes when we get our new common denominator, that means our numerator for that fraction must change also. So looking at this first fraction, we had a plus 4 times a plus 3. However, in our common denominator, we had a plus 4 times a plus 3 times a plus 2. So you see we did not have an a plus 2 in this first fraction, but we have it in our common denominator. So to keep this thing balanced, we must multiply by a plus 2. That's what's different between our common denominator and our original denominator. So that gives us a times a plus 2 minus, do the same thing with the second fraction. We have a plus 3 and a plus 2. However, in our common denominator, we have a plus 4, a plus 3, and a plus 2. So what's different? That's right, the a plus 4 is in our common denominator, whereas it was not in our original denominator. Therefore, we must multiply this one by a plus 4 over a plus 4. So now that gives me minus 3 times a plus 4. Now we're going to focus on our numerator and focus on simplifying. Clear the parentheses by using your distributive property. Distribute the negative 3 here. So after you use your distributive property, you need to combine your like terms. So here we have positive 2a minus 3a, 2 minus 3. Again, we're taking away more than what we had started with, so that's negative 1a. And now we see if we can factor the numerator, which we can. We're trying to find factors of negative 12 that equals negative 1, gives us a sum of negative 1, which would be negative 4 and positive 3. And then the final step will be to cancel out any common factors between the numerator and denominator, if we have them. And remember, the binomials have to be exactly alike for them to be common. So we have a plus 3 in our numerator, a plus 3 in our denominator. That would give us a final answer of a minus 4 all over a plus 4 times a plus 2. Okay, I hope you found this to be helpful. Thank you.